Gambia's president expressed commitment toward a single West African currency as ECOWAS holds summit on the adoption of the ECO. South Africans raise concern over increased gender-based violence, calling for reforms to address the situation. And a high court in Uganda has ruled that Ugandans in the diaspora and prisoners can now participate in elections. This and more coming on the world today. Many thanks for joining us, and you're watching the World Today News Bulletin on Africa TV. I am Amadou Kante, and now the news in detail. Now, President Adama Barrow has assured his colleagues in the ECOWAS sub-region of Gambia's commitment to the roadmap of a single currency for the West African states. He was speaking on Tuesday during the ECOWAS virtual summit on the implementation of the ECO currency for sustainable development of the bloc.
Progress towards the single currency agenda and reaching agreement on key issues were noted at the 55th and 56th summits of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government. Decisions have already been taken on the name and symbol of the future currency, the exchange rate regime, the monetary policy framework, the model central bank, and the name of the common central bank. I will emphasize here that the Gambia remains committed to the revised roadmap of the ECOWAS Monetary Cooperation Program. This commitment has been translated into sustained improvements on achieving the set of macroeconomic convergence criteria. Since 2017, the Gambia has constantly achieved 3 of the 4 primary convergence criteria, missing only the budget deficit criterion.
Leaders of the West African states earlier this month adopted the name of the ECO for the looming currency as plans to make Africa a more integrated continent heightened. The 15-member group had originally planned to launch the ECO in the year 2020, but the idea has been greeted with multiple postponements. And from that development, next we head to South Africa because South African men took to the street against gender-based violence in their country, demanding for justice and protection for the women. Since the government's declaration of a state of emergency, there has been an increase in violence against women, leading to the deaths of many. Well, a new movement called Act Now, formed by South African men, are out to condemn this bad phenomenon, calling on the government to take decisive actions against the perpetrators. Here's more details of that.
Gender-based violence here in South Africa has increased dramatically since the government declared a national state of disaster to fight the spread of the coronavirus. A statement from the presidency indicates that 21 women and children have been killed in the past few weeks. Act Now is a new movement of South African men who have organized themselves to fight the crisis of gender-based violence. They marched to the union buildings to present a petition to the presidency. A number of young women have been brutally killed here in South Africa in the past few weeks alone, and these men are asking government to come up with tangible solutions to deal with the perpetrators.
We are calling for constitutional reform, we're calling for police reform, we're calling for police visibility and effective presence. We call on family and community unit development. We call on men to engage in dialogue with ourselves. We call on men to engage in dialogue with young men of our country.
Act now, and enough is enough of our women being killed by us men. And this is the movement, this is an awareness to tell our brothers, to tell the husbands out there who might be perpetrators who are killing women to say, today we are watching you. Wherever you are, we are watching you. And the law will catch you along the way.
I'm here because I'm against gender-based violence. I just want to say to our brothers there, stop killing our sisters, stop killing our children, and stop killing your wives.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has in the past described gender-based violence and femicide as a crisis that is tearing South Africa's society apart. A crisis that affects every community and that touches the lives of most families in one way or another. Victims or survivors of gender-based violence often point to a failure by authorities to deal decisively with perpetrators. As a result, many of them refrain from reporting the acts.
We really appreciate these efforts because government alone will not succeed in this battle. It needs to be embraced with a partnership from society and from all of us who are here.
The Act Now movement says this march is only the first step in helping end gender-based violence. The movement's other efforts include assisting the survivors of gender-based violence.
And from the report there in South Africa, we come back home and head to the matters or report on matters of the TRRC because a former prison officer testified before the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission that a lot of illegal orders were carried out on inmates by members of the prison management. He disclosed that agents of the then National Intelligence Agency were responsible for the routine torture of inmates at the Mile 2 Central Prisons with support of men from the Gambia Armed Forces. Aissatou Tamba has more details of that in this report.
Former operation officer at the Mile 2 Central Prison on Tuesday told the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission that a lot of inhuman treatments, including torture of inmates by prison officers, were ordered for the day. Mr. Cisse told the TRRC that inmates were normally picked up by uniformed men at night for torture by the then National Intelligence Agency with the escort of some members of the Gambia Armed Forces.
Exactly from the
Well, I don't know exactly where, because usually these people are brought in at night, and when they want to take them away also, they come for them and go away with them.
So it was quite common for detainees to be taken out at night and tortured and brought back again. Is that what you're telling us?
Yes, that was what was happening there at the time.
What can you tell us about the activities of the NIA at the prisons?
NIA usually come there and take the detainees away, and usually they come with escort who are army, members of the army come with them as escort, and these detainees are taken away.
He told the commission that prison officers were aware of the illegal acts, but it was impossible for any of them to challenge the illegal orders.
Did you ever resist when they came to pick up a prisoner?
That would be the end of your life, or that is the end of your service.
Well, if anybody resists that, be sure that it might be at the end of your life, and if you are lucky, it might be the end of your service.
You also knew that it was unlawful for you to also allow them to pick up prisoners and take.
Yeah, it is known to the prison officer, but whether you have the daring mind to refuse.
The TRRC witness remembered the instance of torture on one Musa Suso, who he said was caught with a mobile phone. He was handled by the recruits under the instruction of the then Director General of Prison Service, David Colley, to extract information on the source of the phone. In the testimony of Cisse, all officers were constantly under threat in the management of prisoners.
Sometimes, if a prisoner escapes, those who are responsible for the escaped prisoner are detained. And some prison officers are also detained. It happens there. As far as I can remember, things like that used to happen in the prison there. If some prison officers are responsible for a prisoner who escapes, some prison officers don't even return. They will also run away as the escapee. They will also go away. They won't return back.
Is the normal procedure followed before these officers are detained at the prisons?
Not at all.
Not at all.
So the officers are arbitrarily detained without being charged?
Yeah, it happens like that. They will just give orders arbitrarily, take this person to confined or take them to remand.
Mr. Cisse, who joined the Gambia Prison Service in 1989, explained that the Mile 2 Central Prison consists of the convict and the remand wings, where admission must be based on official documentation. This, however, he said was a thing of the past since the new government in 1994. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Aissatou Tamba.
And from the report there, of course, we report next on matters between the Gambia and Senegal, because in a bid to ensure proper and true scrutiny of the mutual legal assistance in criminal matters between the Gambia and neighboring Senegal, parliamentarians have decided to engage experts on the matter. Once the government is certified, the two West African states will begin to collaborate in the execution of justice for the people of these two sides. Details of that in this report by Jordan Jaesware.
The National Assembly in Banjul has referred the motion on mutual legal assistance in criminal matters between the governments of Senegal and the Gambia for security by a joint committee on foreign affairs, human rights, defense and security for thorough scrutiny before it will be considered and ratified by the whole House. Attorney General and Minister of Justice Abubakar Ba Tambedu tabled the motion on Monday with aim to revive the Judicial Cooperation Convention signed between the two countries in April 1973, which contained provisions on extradition and mutual legal assistance. However, formalities pledged on those documents by the two sides have not been visited in the past 47 years, as international cooperation in criminal matter continue to become more complex, paving the need to provide for current trends on bilateral grounds.
Therefore, the rationale for signing this agreement is to cater for current trends and realities in international legal cooperation in criminal matters. As criminal syndicates increasingly collaborate across borders, it is imperative for states to also mobilize their resources to counter such cross-border crimes. Given the proximity of the two states and the different legal regimes in Senegal and the Gambia, it is in the interest of both states to agree on a framework of cooperation for the investigation and prosecution of crime between the competent authorities of the two states.
The latest agreement in focus was signed in March 2020 by Senegalese President Macky Sall and his Gambian counterpart Adama Barrow in Dakar during the second Presidential Council meeting between the two leaders. In 1982, Senegal joined the Gambia to form the Confederation of Senegambia, which envisaged integration of the two countries. It has been argued that the federation failed in carrying out its objectives, leading to its dissolution in August 1989. The collapse of the Senegambian Confederation significantly increased tensions between the two countries, resulting in division among a number of border kingdoms and settlements. The agreement covers, among others, the identification and locating of suspects, confiscation of assets, and the service of documents. Given the importance of the bilateral agreement, the National Assembly unanimously referred the motion to the expert in the subject matter.
The motion raised by Honorable Member for Woodley East and is seconded by the Honorable Member for Jimara. The motion is that this motion to be referred to the relevant committees of the National Assembly, the Committee on Defense and Security, the Committee on Human Rights, and the Committee on Foreign Affairs. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those not in favor, please say no. Then the ayes have it.
The revival of bilateral agreement between the two West African states is coming at a time when the ECOWAS military intervention is active in the Gambia on mission to restore democracy. The ongoing military intervention in the Gambia was launched to resolve a dispute over the country's presidency following the fall of the former government under Yahya Jammeh in 2017. For iAfrica News, I am Juldenjai Suare.
And with that report there by Juldenjai Suare, we will now take a break and come back shortly with the remaining update stories. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Assalamu alaikum musidɓe am fulɓe, on calminama neɗɗo fof kala ɗo woni e inde muɗum e yettode muɗum. Ko kibaru gimmorɗo en to TRRC bangal biyetegal TRRC. Eɗen fof eɗen gandi TRRC ko député ɓe men darningal damal ɗi darna tan fi humpitade bonandeji bannoɗi e nder laamu Yaya Jammeh, ɗum woni gila July 1994 aranma ha January 2017. ɗum noon waɗi ha TRRC ɗi ñaago yimɓe ɓe ganduɗama hoorema kala mo ganduɗa ka kippanoɗo walla aɗa heɓno mette yoɓe bakkilo ɓe punta. Haalgol noon e télé wona forcé, e haalgol e télé wona forcé, kono noon kala jiɗɗo haalde e télé kadi TRRC ɗi jogani ɗum e damuɗe e folofolo woni a wawat ar kala e télé yimɓe jiiya ko hombo haalta ɗo mo ganduɗa ɗum weɓirani ɗum kadi ɓenne kadi ɓe jogui bangal gongal ɗum woni jomirawo on o haala kono taw haala makko ka waylitte goɗɗo andata ko hombo haalta ɗon. Si wona ɗum taɓɓel ngel woni jomirawo on haala kono yeeso makko ngo funtata e télé he. Si wona ɗum noon kadi e jomirawo on no wawi wakkilo o ara o okkira statement makko kala mo ganduɗa o yiɗa haal o yiɗa funtine he télé o yiɗa ɗemgal makko wayle kono konngol makko no wawi waɗede record ko min mbiyata statement tekas ɗum woni yimɓe bindoɓe ɓe ɓaga konnguli yimɓe ɗi. ɗum noon kala jiɗɗo ɗum minen jogui victim support unit ɓen mbawa ɗon haalande no mbaɗirton nombaji mabɓe noni 770 4988 770 4988 770 4988. So wona ɗum aɗa wawi noddu statement tegas ɗum woni yimɓe ɓe gandama hoorema ko ɓen ƴettata konnguli moɗon hen oɗo number 741 5937 741 5937 741 5937 ko oɗo woni kibaru ceniɗo gimmorɗo en to TRRC. On jarama.
Welcome back. You are watching the World Today News Bulletin on Africa TV, and now to the rest of the stories. Now, the Gambia government has reacted that it had never ever been faced with the option to accept donor funds as bargaining chips for the relaxations of the rights of gays and homosexuals. In a press release on Tuesday, the Gambia government noted that the Gambia continues to be guided by the values and norms of its people, existing laws, and has no plans to either decriminalize or even entertain a review of laws on homosexuality. Now, according to the release, it is patently false to suggest that it has been corrupted, compromised, or preconditions to accept European funds to accommodate LGBT rights in their laws. This clarification came barely 1 month after the European Union delegation to the Gambia called for due human rights for gays, lesbian and bisexuals and transgender people in the Gambia. The EU ambassador to the Gambia, Attila Lajos, told Africa TV last month that political dialogue between the EU and host countries such as the Gambia based on the Cotonou Agreement did not specifically concern the issue of LGBT.
Clarify. So you would understand, hopefully, that the issue of LGBT is the one that we published, and you felt it wasn't a campaign but after also you mentioned clearly that the EU is interested in defending international laws, so it is there. So what is the difference between what you are doing and campaigning for it?
Well, if it was a campaigning, as I said, it would then be transmitted via media channels. There would be series of meetings, conferences, negotiations going on. So this is not the case. The question why we are considering.
The government noted that neither President Adama Barrow nor any member of his government, its envoy, agent or representatives has ever signed, consented to participate in or even presented to support any deal, package, program or agenda for the promotion of LGBT rights, being falsely reported on news and various social media platforms. And from the release from the presidency, or the Gambia government rather, we next move to Uganda, because Ugandan High Court has given green light for citizens in the diaspora and the prisoners to participate in the upcoming presidential elections and vote for candidates of their choice. Campaigners have welcomed the court's decision, saying there was no law to deny convicts or Ugandan outside the country of their constitutional right. Ugandan electoral body says it will provide means for all eligible voters to vote. Here's more details of that in this report.
These prisoners can now vote for the candidate of their choice while in jail. The High Court in Uganda has allowed them to participate in the upcoming presidential elections. Lawyer Stephen Kalali has been leading the fight to extend voting rights.
I'm happy that the judge clearly elaborated and agreed with us that there is no law that bars these two categories of citizens. And being in prison, whether on remand or a convict, doesn't take away your citizenship.
The court ruling benefits those above 18 years of age who are in prison or living abroad. For 20 years now, prisoners and members of the Ugandan diaspora have not been allowed to participate in national elections. Campaigners say that was a violation of their democratic rights, and they welcome the change in the law. Prison authorities say this is the right move, but want further guidance from the country's electoral body.
Prisoners who are already inside were never registered, like the people in the diaspora, and there is a harmonization between information from the national ID and the voter registration. So that one has to be ironed out.
The Uganda Electoral Commission says it will ensure that all eligible voters are given an opportunity to make their voices heard.
Whoever citizens who qualify to vote are, the Commission is required or obliged to reach them, to register them, to create polling stations so that they can exercise their democratic right.
Uganda joins other African countries like Kenya, Nigeria and South Africa who have allowed prisoners and citizens outside the country to vote. The government is currently fast-tracking virtual campaigns because of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's hoped that campaigning digitally and through the media can better reach the new categories of voters.
And from the report there in Kampala, Uganda, finally we end this news bulletin in Tanzania, where Tanzanian activists have added their voice in the fight against racism in the show of solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement. Well, some of them are using artistic work to send out messages to condemn the inequality and attacks on black people. The recent killing of an African-American black man by white police in the US sparked waves of protests around the world. Here's more details of that.
These youth are at a Black Lives Matter event. They have chosen to use art to protest against racial injustice. Organizers of this event want
Well, we apologize for that, but of course, with that report there finally brings this news bulletin to an end. But for more details on this and other stories, you can also log on our website on iafrica.tv. Well, once again, many thanks for the pleasure of your company. Stay safe, thanks for watching, and bye for now.